Hey guys, how's it going? What we're going to make here today is a tutorial on importing height maps into Unity and how to properly scale them so you can actually use them in a game. Um, what we'll start out with is going to terrain.party. This way you can pull height maps from pretty much anywhere in the world, but I'm using somewhere close to home. So I pulled up Mount Rainier National Park, and you can scale it here. I kept mine 30 kilometers. And once you have what you need, just hit the download button on the right hand corner and export it. Save it to whatever you want. While that's doing that, once it's done, you're going to want to pull the merged file. There's about 5 images that come out. You want the merged height map. And you're going to want to pull that into whatever photo manipulation or image manipulation program you have. Drag it in, and you want to go to Image, Scale, and make sure it's set to 1024 by 1024. I've already done that to make it easier, but that's what it needs to look like. So once that's set, just leave it be for now. Go back into Unity, and there's a link I'll place in the description, but it's basically a JavaScript on importing terrain. So we're going to make that next. So we're going to right click, create JavaScript, and call it height map from texture. So here's our height map from texture. We're going to open that up. If you haven't configured Unity properly, it's going to try to want to open up with a different coding software, but you want to use MonoDevelop. It's a lot more straightforward than the other one. So once this is open, we're going to go to our Unity community wiki. Here's our height map from texture, and here's the actual script. So we're going to highlight, select all, and copy. Remove everything from this the lines of code here and paste. Go ahead and save and leave it be for now. Next thing we're going to do is actually, well, if it works properly like it did, you'll see this come up, terrain, which is what we need. So now we're going to actually want to make the terrain. Well, before I go any further, we're going to drag in our image. So Rainier height model. And you're going to take your height model and go to the inspector and make sure that under the advanced it's read write enabled and then apply. That's all you need to do for that one. So let's go to game assets, 3D object, terrain. So here's our terrain now. And since we did, let's go to our settings here. Since our image was 30 kilometers, to keep things in scale, we can do 3,000. And it's a mountain. It's going to be pretty tall. I'll keep it at 1,000 for now, but we'll see. Height map resolution, I've been keeping the same as the image, which is 1024. I've been told you can go one up for some reason. I'm not sure what the reason behind it is, but if you go one up above the actual resolution that it's at, that's, I don't know. So that's where we're going to keep it. So now we have our terrain scaled and ready for the image. So go down to your Rainier height map, and while that's selected, go to terrain up top and then height map from texture. Alright, so now we have ourselves a very oddly shaped Rainier, but it is a mountain. So what we could do to help scale this out is actually double the size of the terrain. That way it kind of shifts it. Let's actually drop the height down to like 800. See if that makes it looks a little better. So let's go with let's do 6,000. So that's pretty big, but let me try to get around here a little bit, and let me drop the intensity of the light so it's not, there we go. So that looks a little better. You're gonna still get these weird ridges, almost like that Minecraft effect, but it's manageable. And what I had to do is basically go in with the brush in the terrain and do a smooth height at max size and opacity at about 5. And I'll show you a sample of it here. But it still holds its features, but it removes any of that like pixelated effect. And then basically you can just go through and mellow it out. And we'll zoom in here to get a little higher quality here. So yeah, from that point on, it actually looks pretty good. It looks like legitimate terrain, and you can just keep on doing that till you're satisfied. Moving on, what we'll do now is add some actual terrain texture, so it doesn't look like just a white plain mountain. Let me just smooth this out a little bit so you can see how the textures are going to look once they're properly placed in here. I'll just do the one side to not waste any time. Okay, so if we go to, where is it at? Paint texture, and if you go to edit textures, you can add. So we need to do our, let's find one that makes sense for here. But we need to find the right normal for it too, because that'll actually, here we go. So we've got ground 5 diffuse, and then the normal for that would be ground 5 normal. And then if we add that, now the entire terrain is going to reflect what that looks like. So if you look up close, it looks good. When you're walking with a first-person controller, which I'll do in a second here just to show you, it can look a little blurry. So what you have to do is actually take the terrain from here and edit and drop the size down. I think I had it at 4. So let's see. So yeah, that's obviously going to look a lot smaller and a little more pristine when you're up like walking around. And then we can also add things like we can do trees or add grass texture, and that looks way too bright. So what we'll do is something along these lines, like a grayish green. That's fine. Now we need to get our grass texture, which is grass 1, add. So check this out. So once we go in here now with our brush for grass, we can make it a full-size brush. I can't see it. Okay, so it's pretty zoomed out. Let's go to the terrain and set some parameters first. 2000 detail distance. We want it maxed out. It's only 250. I think once you fully build your work and export it, your detail distance should be based off of what the graphic settings are, so that could increase. But that didn't look very good, so let's go back to our brush here and get our add some strength. So there we go. Cool. Now we have some grass, and we can do trees as well. If you go to the tree painter right here, edit, add tree, and it should be just tree 1 somewhere. Yep. Add. And this is cool because this actually, we can do random heights and place ourselves some trees, and they actually look really nice, especially for the environment. Obviously it's Mount Rainier, there should be more snow, but I'm just giving this as an example. So now we have some trees, some nice terrain, and what we can do now, and I'll actually show you how far this can go out with trees. So we'll just make this little pockets of density. Okay, we'll add a first-person controller up here so you can see what it looks like in-game, what you would see. So go to our assets, and in order to get these assets, you go to import new import package, and all of these are preset from Unity, and they'll have what you need to get started. So make sure you download all these, and they'll be under standard assets when you find them in your main folder. So go to characters, first person, prefab, and a first person controller. And we'll put him right on top of the mountain here. And put this up a little further. If you have it too high, all that'll happen is the character will fall into the ground. But so yeah, here's the beginnings of a map. And oh, it's really weird. It's doing some crazy movements. Not sure why it's doing that. I've never had that happen before. But yeah, this could be, you can do a lot with this. Not sure why my steps were, I couldn't hear them, but that's not that big of a deal. So yeah, importing terrain, smoothing it out, using the standard assets to get you at least started with a level build. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on Facebook, on the group page. I think I covered everything that you guys needed. Last thing, if you don't know, there's the asset store. You can download pretty much anything on here. You can buy it. There's free stuff. I used a few in my current project I'm working on, which I'll show you real quick in the overview mode, not in game mode, so you can actually see what it looks like. So this is with the new skybox. I've only just started on the outside of the perimeter wall here, but along with grass, you can also add details like rocks and paint them. It's a little tricky. It definitely is not user-friendly, and you have to kind of mess with it a little bit, but the end result's pretty good. This road importer was done through the asset store. It only lets you use one free road, so you can see here's where my other one was going to go, and they basically told me to buy it or, you know, get lost. And then we have some tree density placed here, nice and short and shrubbery because that's how it looks in Afghanistan. And yeah, this is what I have so far. So yeah, if you have any questions, again, message me, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.